speak about none other than Mr. Makokha. We all know him from the show of Vionja Mahakamani, where he had the
Vioja.
most... Vioja Mahakamani. Oh yeah, it's like skits in the courtroom.
Yeah.
Anyway, really funny show. We all grew up with it, or at least I grew up with it. Let me not let me not call out your age. Me, my age. We grew up with it. We grew up watching him being a jokester along with the various actresses and actors that were on that particular show. He actually goes by the name of, his actual name is not Alphonse Makokha. It is Matthias Kea, but we all know him as Makokha because of the show, of course. And obviously his story has been one of those really hilarious ones, but he says that his talent didn't just start yesterday. Yeah, kuamka jana akiwa na talent. He started his talent and growing into that skill set of being a comedian and an artist in class 4, class 3, and you can imagine how many years ago that is. He says that he started by actually playing skits in school. Whenever they had like talent shows, whenever they had like, you know, these school events, he would be able to do a bits of comedy here and there. He actually said that some of this is inspired by his dad, because apparently his dad could actually speak upwards of 160 languages. And he picked that up along the way because the dad would sit down at home and do like funny skits as well. He was very funny, and of course he picked this up, and his dad also, he says that his dad also really inspired him and motivated him into getting into comedy. He then forged on, moved from where he came from, which I think is in Kakamega. He came all the way from Kakamega to Nairobi, where he was actually working in music, where he was participating as an artist within the Safari Park. We all remember those cultural shows they used to have in Safari Park like every other Sunday. He went again, I'm old. So basically, he used to have these very funny talent shows at Safari Park where they'd have musical guests singing cultural music. It was very entertaining back in the day. Even now, I suppose, if they still did it, it would be very funny. And he says that it was during this time that he was actually picked up by the cast of Vionja Mahakamani. He said that he was doing his funny skits, and during this time, I'm trying to find that particular quote, one of the people who used to work, yes, Ondiek and I think someone else, yes, picked him up for his talent, and they decided to add him into Vionja Mahakamani, sorry. And yeah, he didn't have to audition, he didn't have to do nothing. I think his talent from doing what he did in Safari Park also just like showed them how his skill set is really good. He does say that during the process where he was working there, he still did manage to fly. Alipanda ndege, akaenda all the way to, I think, Korea as well, and a few other places, including Spain, where he participated in his musical acts. I think he's a very all-rounded talent, to grass kind of person, because honestly, think about the fact that this guy started doing comedy and music, and even now he owns a musical studio, by the way, where he has Jaguar and I think Lady B, who've come in and have actually produced music from him, or he has produced music for them. It's kind of a cool story if you really think about it. We all know him for his Vionja Mahakamani, but we didn't know about all of these other talents that he had. I love to see it. I love this kind of energy, and it goes to show that you don't grow to fame in like 2 seconds. It's like a process. You have to kind of follow through the process, and eventually you will get to where you want to get to. I applaud him for telling us this story. It's quite a lovely story.
I feel like he's one of those stories that just reassure you that always show up as your most authentic self. You never know who is watching. You know, even sometimes when we come to work, we are tired. Trust us, like life has beaten you black and blue. You've been busy the whole day, but anytime like the screen is on, the camera starts recording, even if you don't feel like it, you're always like on, because you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's going to discover you, you don't know who is going to see you and say, I'm impressed, you know, you could work for me or something. So I'm just saying, show up. And there's always that fear of looking stupid, or fear of, that's so cringe, why am I doing this, what are people going to think? Please overcome it, because later on is when you discover nobody was actually looking at me like that.
Paying attention that much.
Exactly. We always think that everyone is looking at us. Everyone is thinking, that is so embarrassing. Nobody is interested. So all I'm saying is show up as your most authentic and apologetic self every single day, okay? Okay, Miss Liam. That's yeah.
And also, just like, don't limit yourself. This guy is a medical producer. He's an actor. He's a musician as well. Like, look at how that skill set is. The range is quite huge. So don't limit yourself to just the one thing. If you can cook and you can sing, do both. Nobody's going to stop you. What's his name? Holy Dave. I mean, don't limit yourself.
Exactly.